they didn't want the bloat of jQuery Mobile. And I suggested they go to the download builder and just pick the touch events and build a custom version of jQuery Mobile, and they loved it. They said that worked great. So what you do is you come here and you check a checkbox for all the key pieces that you need, and the site is smart enough to know what dependencies you will need as well. So as you check touch events, the core library will probably get checked as well, because you'll probably need that as well. But none of the widgets will get added into your code. So let's take a look at jQuery Mobile 1.3. This is the newest release. We added two new widgets, a panel widget and a two-handle range slider widget. Plus we have a focus on responsive web design. A lot of people are asking, does jQuery Mobile support responsive web design? The answer is yes, and we're just trying to educate people. We provided a couple of different CSS classes to help you out there. That we have two different ways to do grid tables and a responsive grid that'll help you with your layout. So a panel, so what does this look like? So a quick example, to get a panel to work, you'll need a div that has a div we're describing as panel. We're going to set its position, so it's either going to be right or left. And we're going to set its display mode. Defaults to reveal, so reveal means like the panel's behind the page, and when you click to open it, the page will move away, revealing the panel behind it. There's also overlay, so the panel will come in over top of the page, and then there's push, where the panel will push the page to the side as well. And so here's an example of reveal. So you can have like a really long submenu, right behind the page. And then here's an overlay, and we can add any kind of content we want into a panel. Here's an example with a form. Where does the panel markup go? The panel markup goes in the same level as your header, content, and footer. So right after you've declared your page div, you can put any number of panels in there. Just to note, to open up a second panel, the first panel needs to close first, so that will happen before the second panel comes in. The other widget that we created was a slider with dual handles. So this is, allows you to easily set min and max value. So we can slide around a couple of handles. And all we have is just a div with a data role range slider that has a label and input field of type range with a min and max value, so we know what our bounds are and what the starting value is. In addition to this, if you can't really get this right, we can edit this right on the fly using the input boxes. So reflow table. This is really hard to explain in a couple of slides with a half an hour. Probably do a whole another half an hour presentation on it, but I just want to show you what it's capable of. So basically, you have a set of a table with tabular data in it. You're going to describe that as a table at the table element. You're going to say it's going to reflow. That's the type of table it's going to be. So what reflow is, on a desktop, it'll look like a normal table of tabular data, but as it gets smaller and smaller, the columns will stack on top of each other, and then the rows will stack on top of each other, as you see here. So this is one row, this is a second row, and everything's key value paired sort of way of looking at things. Another way of looking at tables is a column table. So here we're keeping that tabular data format, but we're putting the onus of what the user wants to look at onto the user by this button. It uses a pop-up where they can select which columns they want. So say I wanted to look at the year of the movie here, I can click that and there's the year. And if I wanted to see everything and break the view, like one of those columns is invisible, so I'd have to get rid of one just to see something. So put the onus on you can put the onus on the user to decide what they want to see. Then there's grids. So this is a a CSS-based column approach. So there's a few different classes that are available. UI-grid that has a few different letter options to specify how many columns there are. So here we have two div blocks that are side by side. If we view source, there's a div that wraps those divs around that has a class of UI grid A, and within that there are two divs for each column, and they have UI-block A and UI-block B. So if we wanted to do more columns, say we wanted to do 3 columns, all we would do is increment the UI-grid B, and then just have the number of blocks in there. And that's the same pattern that goes for everything. So if we want to do 4 columns, it would be UI-grid C, 5 columns UI-grid D. I think you get the point. And you can have like any kind of content in here. So here's 3 buttons that are placed side by side. And you can go to the demo site to see, get a lot more information about that. So our roadmap, where are we headed? Our release cycle is every 1.x release. We're trying to target every 3 to 4 months. With that release cycle, we're trying to push out a new widget, trying to refactor existing widgets, and obviously add in as many bug fixes as you can. For jQuery Mobile 1.4, we're still early in the planning phases. I asked last night, there was a meeting with the team, what they're going to do for 1.4. We're still brainstorming what that widget's going to be. They're obviously going to do some refactoring, some performance improvements and testing, and unit test coverage. Coming soon, new jQueryMobile.com, and here's a preview of it. This is actually from GitHub. It might change, don't hold me to this design, but it'll look like the API site. Again, my name's Ralph Whitbeck. I'm a modern web advocate at Pentu. I'm a board member at the jQuery Foundation, jQuery Mobile Development Relations. You can contact me at Twitter, at RedWolves, or on my site, ralphwhitbeck.com. There's a contact form there. These slides I'm going to make available. They're not available right now. I'm going to do it this afternoon. And you can find those at speakerdeck.com/rwhitbeck. And I think I heard that the conference is going to be collecting the slides. So just, if you want to just be patient, look at the site when they're available. You can get those there. It won't be as interactive as I've shown you. I don't think I have any time for questions. He's telling me I'm done. So if you have any questions for me, please come see me. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions.